Yo, mic testing 1 2, mic testing 1 2, mic testing on the mic testing on the mic 1 2. You gotta be entertaining. Am I here to be entertaining or am I here to make money? That's the truth, isn't it? You know what I mean? How can you mix in both? So something I realized on my last YouTube video was that I didn't. I hardly talk. Literally, bro. I hardly speak any words, bro, because I'm locked in. I'm locked in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, son? I ain't got time to talk when I'm locked the fuck in. Marking out previous day highs. That one's been hit by this. There's obviously an SMT before you can go on to the market. I've been making this noise. This. I don't know why. I might have something wrong with me. I think I do. It's important to know that on and off the camera, I am both the same. So, you know? I'm the same off the fucking camera. Technically a pre-market thing. I hate when that happens. So, we'll have a look now and we'll decide whether we're going to be bullish or bearish today. This is generally a test of my market knowledge. So we're actually... Yeah, we're at all-time highs almost on ES. Which almost always means you've got to be bullish. Because we're so close to all-time highs now. We're clearly going to push up. I mean, that's all-time highs right there. So we're going to mark it out. Give her a fancy colour. Okay, looking at the 4 hour. I mean, that price action is looking terrible. It's dreadful because I'm so close to passing my eval, but I don't want to use that because I don't really care if I don't pass it today. On you, we're miles away from all-time highs, so this is what pisses me off. This is what pisses me off. The pays are supposed to be the fucking same. Well, they're not, are they? They're clearly not. They're clearly not the boys. I feel like I feel, which isn't a good start because I'm already feeling in the market. But what I was gonna say is, I think there we go. I think I've talked more already than my last fucking YouTube video. My last YouTube video was 0 views. Get on. I've really done like care. Please, everyone watch me. No, I don't care. I ain't desperate for views, bro. The type of shit you see some people do for views, like the type of skits they make, the type of videos they make, the type of stunts they pull in real life. I just think I ain't trying to end up like that, bro. I ain't trying to end up where I'm doing this more stupid shit to get famous, to get views. It's like, it's dreadful. And don't be like that, bro. Just be yourself. And if you be yourself, that's one of the best things you can do. I can understand if you want to over jester a little bit, but don't completely jester, Max. This is multiple things I was doing in my last fucking video. I was doing that all the fucking time, which is disgusting. I need to stop doing that. It's unappealing. Just seeing me fucking go all the fucking time, snorting like a dickhead. I must have some serious energy spike today. So, eventually when we get down to the 30-minute time frame, we've been recently downtrending. Just filled this small imbalance, respected our imbalance earlier. 30-minute time frame on year, look, as you can see there's an imbalance there. We've come up into it, tapped into it, respected it so far. It was the hour on ES. scale down to the 15-minute. It's the bullish imbalance or fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. Same on NQ. Go down to the 5-minute now, and suppose you got that 5-minute fair value gap, and then after that usually I just skip straight to the 1. See what it's looking like on the lowest time frame possible. So market open was opened, hit the imbalance, started going down. It's not terrible. Go back to I like going back to a higher time frame to view. So we got previous day lows down here. Then we got some lows but here. Same for this, is it? Previous day lows being here. Is it? SMT. Yeah. So that's the SMT. ES has stayed above, NQ's pushed through. Something what I learned when I was back in the market from, I'd say, September to March. September to February, really. And I'm not sure how much this is credible information anymore. But I started to notice that when SMTs were being formed between the two pairs, if, for example, ES had pushed through a high, but NQ didn't, and vice versa, where the opposite is NQ pushes through a high, but ES doesn't, which both create the SMT, I would say 70% of the time, ES would always be the stronger of the two pairs. Now, what I mean by this is, if ES, so there's two ways to avoid an SMT, either the other pair catching up and hitting the same high or low, or both reversing and hitting the low or high linked. Common market knowledge. So something I was noticing a lot of the time is if ES had hit a high and NQ didn't hit the high, which means an SMT, which technically means NQ is leading and NQ is showing it wants to reverse, a lot of the time, because ES was the one that hit the highs, I was seeing that NQ would follow through, which made me think and view and make an observation that ES is a stronger pair. So if ES is the one causing the SMT, so if NQ pushes through a high but ES doesn't, then I would trust that SMT to be respected, and by respected I mean, you know, it reverses. So I look at it as, if ES hits an high, if ES hits a high, I'm gonna sneeze. I've got this thing, I'm gonna sneeze, but it's like I'm not gonna sneeze, right? If ES hits a high, I've lost my fucking train of thought, and I've phlegmed again. I've like fell off instantly. Well, what's that? Right, if ES hits a high, I don't even know what I was talking about now. Right, SMT. So I look at it as you can either respect it or void it. If ES hits a high and NQ doesn't, right? And NQ hits the same high, then the SMT was voided. But if ES and NQ hit the relative low, then the SMT was respected. Because the ES NQ showed that it wanted to reverse and it did, and they both hit the low. That's a respected SMT, and then there's a voided one, which is the opposite of respect, which is the other pair catching up. If you trade, then you should be keeping up with me here. So something I was noticing is ES being the stronger pair. So if ES doesn't hit the low, but NQ does, I would trust that the SMT would reverse more than if NQ didn't hit the low and ES did. Because if ES hit the low, I was seeing more that NQ would follow through and hit the same low. So basically what I'm trying to say is, don't 100% rely on this. But I like to keep it in mind that ES is the stronger of the two pairs. ES does run price more than NQ. And at the end of the day, it does make slight sense because there's more pairs in the S&P compared to the Nasdaq. So ES has the same 100 that Nasdaq has, but has 400 more. Patience is such a key trait in the market. It's one of the greatest traits you can possess. I keep doing it, boy. I keep fucking flaming. It is disgusting. Trading is just really enjoyable though. It's actually really interesting how I sit here, look at the markets, decide what thing's going to happen off knowledge I've built up, making it a skill, and then I proceed to take a trade, and over a long enough period of time, somehow you just make tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. This is actually insane. Like, I'm literally just playing a game. I'm playing a game every day, but I'm good at the game, and I make money from it. How cool is that? That's when you know you're trading for the right reasons. Not because you're trading to make money, but because you're trading, you actually just enjoy trading. Trading is so fun. It's like problem solving, bro. It's like every day as well is a new problem, so it's never the same problem twice. That's what's amazing. It's like, new problem. Let me use my fucking Aikido to, dissect the market, understand what's going on, where prices going, and then boom. Okay, so something that could be key here is the fact that Nasdaq got this low, S&P got this low. I'm gonna flame again. Maybe I need to go and blow my nose. Right, something that's interesting that could be coming up. It's definitely a risky trade. I've definitely taken trades like it and they've definitely paid off, and I've definitely taken trades like it and they definitely haven't paid off. So I'm getting into it. Right, basically we've got this major low here, and at the end of the day, on the 4 hour, it's difficult to tell actually if we are technically uptrending. On the S&P, I would be inclined to agree, but it looks so choppy. But on Nasdaq, it's more of a chop session. That's been this week and last week. Look, yeah. It's difficult to tell. But basically, what I'm trying to get into is, look, major low here, major low here. Where's this low? This low's there, which would cause an SMT. ES leading. I believe ES is a stronger pair. But the risky trade is when it hits this low, there isn't really much liquidity for it to seek until it gets to these two major lows, which is 250 points away. That's a lot of market move in a day. You know what I mean? That's just under 10% of the market in there. 10% of that is 2,900. 1%. That's like a 1% market. That's not actually two thing, but basically what I'm trying to say is a risky trade you could take here is when it hits that low, because there's no major lows to be hit after that for a while, and there's lots of low resistance liquidity to the upside. We got high here. I mean, they are, high there, high there, high there. After that, high, which is only 90 points away, high, high. And at the end of the day, S&P close to all-time highs, meaning we should technically be bullish. A risky trade you could take is when it hits the low. Specifically now, it's causing an SMT between the two as well, which is even with the previous day lows just causing an SMT, you could take a trade. But, you gotta look at it logically as well in the market. We've respected this hour fair value gap. Only yes, we're respecting that 30-minute. So that's bullish, higher time frame, bearish price action we've respected. And then even on the lower time frame, being the 15-minute, is lower time frame bullish price action we've disrespected. Which is key, really. Because you've got to just, doesn't matter what I think or assume about the market, it's what the market's showing, and that's what the market's showing. Don't want to see the markets on the fucking second time frame, bro. If you're trading on the 30-second time frame, just give up. Just generally give up. So see, now we've hit this low. ES is clearly showing that it's struggling to drop further in price because it needs more liquidity, which could mean that it needs people to buy and it needs people to sell. Because there are definitely traders that prefer or that are riskier traders, which means they will take a trade off of it and that low purely for the basis of it's a low and there's not much low resistance liquidity after the low to hit. That's why people would buy. And then on the flip side, people are thinking it's hit that low, is showing bearish price action, which is logical, could continue down. So that's when they're selling. But patience is key. So basically all my footage is going to be unedited on YouTube, but when there's periods of 10 minutes, 15 minutes of me just not talking, I'm just going to cut that out. You don't want to be watching me looking at the markets. You do want to be hearing me talk, and I will waffle a lot. I try not to include it. Like on the other day, I waffled for about 25-30 minutes about me telling my story. But then I realised no one really gives a shit about my story until I've made it. So, which is fair enough, makes sense. I wouldn't want to hear some nobody's story either. So I'll save the story for the future. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to try to provide purely trading knowledge. At the end of the day, strategy is the easy part. That's the truth. Strategy is the easy part. Risk management, that's even easier. It's the psychology behind trading, and there's nothing that stops me from being good at psychology. I might not be the best at strategy, but psychologically, bro, I'm one of the best. I believe, and it's better to believe that than for me to believe that I'm not one of the best. Why would I believe that? Why would I believe anything other than I am the best? Because even if I believe I'm the best, the best can still improve, So that's the mindset you've got to have. You've got to be the best in your own head. You've got to be the winner. You've got to be that guy. In your story, you are the main character. That's the truth. That is the truth. Very risky trade, but sometimes taking the risky trade can be worthwhile. I am going to place a buy order off this 1 minute inverse fair value gap. It's clearly going to inverse it. Like I said, it's a risky trade. I wouldn't recommend trading risky. I'm maybe placing 2 micro contracts on the Nasdaq arena.
Order filled.
Placing my stop loss beneath the lows, targeting $250. Luckily enough for me, 250 is all I currently need. Right, so the trade I've taken is clearly off the 1 minute inverse fair value gap. Maybe an early entry, maybe a bad trade. That's the truth. See what happens. At the end of the day, if we hit stop loss, we hit stop loss. I mean, yes, something. Every time you enter the trade, you don't enter the trade to lose. I mean, if you're entering a trade to lose, how does that really make sense? It doesn't. Something that's nice to see is that on the S&P at the minute, it's looking stronger. Got a 1 minute imbalance. Something as well I like to call is this to be a strong 1 minute fair value gap. What do I mean by that is that it's the type of fair value gap that it starts at the bottom or the top of a strong reversal. It's the type of fair value gap that, you know, if it's not tapped back into, proves to be a strong fair value gap because price is clearly going in that direction and it didn't need to retrace into that fair value gap to continue in the desired direction. Obviously, in this case, it is tapping back into it on yes, and on this case, it is very close to hitting my stop loss. Looks like it could sweep the lows. Is literally 1 tick off my stop loss. It's definitely going to hit it. There's no way it doesn't hit my stop loss. I start crying. I got tears. I'm crying. I've hit my stop loss. Oh no, my trading career's finished. I've taken 1 loss. Like, that is not the type of psychology you need in the market. 100%. I will obviously be posting this. I'm going to definitely be posting this to TikTok as well. So, that's something as well. Showing your losses and showing that losing is a part of trading, I think is really helpful towards traders because you always see people winning, you never see people losing, and I don't think that's benefiting anyone. Showing that losses are a part of day trading is a great thing you can do as a day trader. So if you are losing, make sure you're posting them losses. Make sure you are posting them losses. So, before I took the trade, I didn't actually write down a pre-entry commitment. Because I believe my psychology was okay today. I wasn't experiencing any emotions. I was logically speaking beforehand, which is a good thing. But I did think of the pre-entry commitment I wanted. And the pre-entry commitment I wanted to think of was, do not be hesitant to enter. I'm going to continue. Proceed to write that down. Because when you're so close to passing eval like I am now, they can be the flip side, which was yesterday of They can be the flip side of yesterday. I just wanted to enter. I just wanted to get this eval passed. And then the flip side to that is now I'm like, I'm so close. It's like I just want to pass. Like, can I just, you know, I don't wanna wait forever. No, I wanna wait forever. I don't wanna lose any money. So that's the flip side. Thought process for the entry. So I'm gonna write down major lows. Major lows hit on NQ. Obviously a bullish SMT ES leading. Close to all-time highs. Which obviously leads you to be bullish anyway, most of the time. Then we had a 1 minute inverse fair value gap. And that was basically what we ended off. It was mainly market knowledge and about that over you know, like waiting for big confluences. Definitely I'm gonna write down a riskier trade. But that's why I put it as such a low risk trade. It was only 220 to make 260. It's a 1-to-1. It's definitely not ideal. 3 o'clock, so
Order filled.
3 o'clock, something obviously came out and has pushed it into TP. I mean, when I look back at this, I just think I've seriously just experienced one of the, like, holy, I swear down, you know, you watched me put my stop loss and my take profit exactly where they were supposed to be, right? And I mean, holy, like, genuinely, like, genuine. Genuinely, that's insane. So my stop loss was actually 0.25 and it literally ticked to 0.5. Sometimes you generally just can't make it up. That's the truth. How? I mean, how lucky I have gotten by there. I've genuinely, that's actually blown my head away a little bit, because I clearly should have been stopped out by there. And I've just been blessed with a 0.25. That's, I mean, that's lucky. That's the truth. That is lucky. 100%, that is lucky. It's obviously going in our direction now, which will be interesting to see, you know, if you've traded today. See how price continues to play out. Maybe I'll pause the recording, come back in 30 minutes, show you how price continued to carry on. And if it carried on upwards, then I was clearly right in my thought process. Or if it starts reversing after maybe tapping into an equilibrium, which is very close to doing, then maybe I got lucky with the trade. Hey, we'll see at the end of the day. I'm going to pause it. That is officially the eval passed. So I don't know what I can show. But I'll show the certificate when I get the certificate. But yeah, so basically, I've passed the eval. I definitely got lucky with that trade because of the 0.25 tick. Insane, by the way. But like I said, I'm going to pause. We're going to see how the trade continues to play out. And then then it would be, you know, at least my trade ID was right, which is a good thing to know. But anyways, and then hopefully by then I'll have the certificate to show you I have officially passed my 50k eval. It's only taken me you know, when I think back to when I was trading, I was a good trader, 100%. So it took me 2 months, September and October. I was like September. I can quickly show you now. I mean, look at this. I got gambling. When's that? Great video, baby. It's a really good video, to be fair. Old. So September losses. I mean, look at all them losses. FOMC don't trade news. Literally gambling. You know, this is how I started. Literally gambling. First funded blown. Recorded a video, no microphone. So how many losses I got over there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses. Wins, 4 wins. So 8 losses, 4 wins in September. Go to October, 5 losses, 3 wins, no trades. I remember this month being like I was, you know, no trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days. 11 Monday to Fridays out of that month I didn't trade. November, somehow I genuinely had one of the greatest run of my trading career. I'm 100% back there. 1 trade on the 18th, 1 loss on the 18th, and then I literally took, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wins. So I had 11 wins. Got my first payout that month, which was insane. And then December, I just took, look, see, two shit wins so I could get a payout. Losses, and then blew my funded. And then that's when I decided December's price action shit. I'm gonna come back in 2026 January. 2026 January, losses, 4 losses, 5 wins, passed the eval, leaked my number at the end. And then February, losses, 4 losses, 4 wins. I caught like a banger of like a 4.5k win whilst I was currently in hospital. I ain't gonna deep there. But then after February, I got to March, bro. Losses. And then March was genuinely... It was really bad. I'm pretty sure the gambling... Oh no, it just is that. But I got really bad in March. I stopped recording. I stopped recording because I was like I was trading so bad and I knew it. I didn't want to record myself, like how ashamed I was. So I needed to take a break. Luckily, break structure was presented itself to me, and now I'm back. It's only been... I literally started trading last week. And... yeah, I literally started trading last week. And I've already passed the eval, which shows I'm a good trader. I definitely got... I didn't get lucky with the trade idea. I got lucky with this 0.25 tick. That's the truth. So, sort of a lucky trade, at the same time, good trade idea. But I'm going to pause the recording, stop waffling, come back in 30 minutes or so, let you know, to see how it played out in there, you know? Alright. So, it's been, I think it was about 30 minutes. I think that's about right. As you can see, it did continue up. It hasn't shot up. If I was taking... I mean, on ES, it shot up past them. If I was taking... Oh, my days. Sorry. If I was a normal trading day and I wanted to make more money, I would have been targeting these previous highs. I mean, up there is a bit of a nightmare because it's hit on ES, but as an on NQ. So that's a key point as well. So when ES would have hit them highs, I would have been looking at... When ES would have hit these highs, I would have been looking at closing my trade. which is doing this point, because ES is at the high, so I can't expect NQ to hit them, even though that is quite hypocritical of what I was saying earlier. But, you know, especially when you're in the trade and it's gone up so far, so that would have been the trade. And I would have made probably about 1,000 odd. But yeah, so it did continue up a little bit further. I just caught the bottom end because I only needed 250 to make. And I only needed 250 to make because I passed the eval. That is the official certificate of me passing my eval. On this day, Corey Harrison, that's the full government name. I passed the trading combine. I showed up, stayed disciplined, and proved I can manage risk and trade with consistency. So that means I will be paying 150 startup fee to start trading funded. Anyways, it was a great trading day today. You know, to my 0 viewers, enjoy the video, and you know, that's about it, bro. Peace out.